last 6 fights and now set to face the 6-time UFC winner, Italian Alessio Sakara. Following the emergence of light heavyweight contender Alexander Gustafsson, the stage was set for the next generation of MMA fighters from Sweden to emerge. One of those fighters is Stockholm's Nico Masoki. Unbeaten in his last 6 bouts, he will step up to the big leagues tonight to face the veteran Alessio Sakara. One of the UFC's longest-standing veterans, Italy's Sakara has been competing in the octagon since 2005, with memorable wins over Elvis Sinisic, James Urban, and Joe Venipo, building his reputation as one of the division's most exciting warriors. Coming up next, Alessio Sakara welcomes Nico Masoki, the Ultimate Fighting Champion. Well, Joe Silva had to work hard, Joe, to put this fight, or keep this fight, I should say, on the card. Nico Masoki stepping in after his training partner Magnus Sedenblad pulled out. He was replacing Tom Watson, and that means the UFC debut has arrived for the Swede Masoki.
Amazing opportunity for Masoki, but man, what a string of bad luck. The opponents of Alessio Sakara just keep falling off. It was really almost bizarro. But we've got the fight. Masoki's here, and Sweden has really started to become a new powerhouse of MMA, of course, spearheaded by the great Alexander Gustafsson's performance against John Jones. So many people in Sweden are being turned on to MMA now. Young athletes are entering into MMA at staggering rates. It's becoming another one of these countries where you're starting to see emerging talent, and Nico Masoki has a beautiful opportunity here tonight against a real veteran in Alessio Sakara.
And of course, Sweden has become an annual destination for the UFC. That in large part due to the burgeoning talent from that region. You mentioned Alexander Gustafsson, who has shared a training room on several occasions with this man, Nico Masoki, known as a striker, but also has a purple belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and really a versatile finisher, 4 wins by knockout, another 4 by submission, and having competed primarily as a welterweight, moving up to 185 here for his UFC debut. He made his UFC debut all the way back at UFC 55 in 2005. Here is Alessio Sakara back in the octagon and looking for his first UFC win since March of 2010.
Alessio Sakara, former professional boxer, 8-1 as a professional boxer, excellent hands, and was really rounded out his full MMA arsenal. Since training in American top teams, see behind him the legend of MMA, Conan Silveira, old school from way back in the day. And Alessio Sakara is one of the more talented boxers in the UFC, excellent hand techniques, very good ground game as well. Just had a string of bad luck finding guys to compete.
And we talk about injuries that have forced Nico Masoki into this spot. It's usually Alessio Sakara that has dealt with the injury. Those injuries limiting him to just 5 UFC fights actually since 2008. But, you know, he boxed as recently as 2009. So it's sort of rare for a pro boxer to cross over into mixed martial arts and still compete actively in boxing. And he did that, 4 or 5 years into his UFC career.
Well, he's a very well-rounded combat athlete.
Yeah.
And as we said, boxing is his biggest strength. You saw there in his stats, he is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Although I don't believe he's ever submitted anyone inside the octagon. I believe that all of his fights that he's won have been either by decision or knockout.
He's got the second shortest average fight time in UFC history, with fighters having a minimum of 5 fights. 10 of his last 12 have ended in the first round, and gotta think he'll pursue the finish, as has been his trademark in the early going here tonight against the debuting Nico Masoki. Our tail the tape is sponsored by Bud Light. Here we go. Alessio Sakara, 32 years old, opposite the 27-year-old Swede Nico Masoki. A 1-inch height advantage for Sakara, a slight 2-inch reach advantage with the UFC newcomer Nico Masoki. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 10 wins, 2 losses, 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 186 pounds, 13.3 stone. Fighting out of Stockholm, Sweden, Nico Musoke. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a boxer holding a professional record, 19 wins, 10 losses, 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 185 pounds, 13.2 stone. Fighting out of Miami, Florida, USA, by way of Rome, Italy, Alessio Legionarius Sakara. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mark Goddard.
Mark Goddard, our referee for this middleweight showdown. Nico Musoke making his aforementioned UFC debut against that man, Alessio Sakara. The fight clock is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Good combination by Alessio. He hurt him with the right hand. Musoke's in trouble. Beautiful takedown. Into side control immediately by Sakara. In full guard here.
Oh, nice left hand there by Sakara.
Musoke's still in trouble. Alessio lets him stand back up. Alessio slinging some leather here tonight. Oh, he got caught. Musoke with some nice knees, a good right hand. Good left hook by Musoke. Sakara's hurt. Good right hand by Sakara. Beautiful uppercut. He gets staggered again.
Both guys landing at will here.
And both guys staggered.
Now we settle in a little bit. The debut of Musoke has Sakara up against the fence. And you see the size discrepancy. Musoke traditionally competes as a welterweight, competing at 185 here for the short notice fight.
Good hard elbows from the bottom by Sakara here. Sakara spinning the hips to the front armbar.
And welcome to the UFC, Nico Musoke.
Sakara, as I said before, we haven't seen him finish guys on the ground with submissions, but he has those skills. You just see by his hands. There he goes, throwing up an omoplata. That was a Hail Mary attempt there. He really didn't control the body of Musoke at all.
Nice back fist there from Sakara. Strong submission acumen for Nico Musoke as well. A purple belt, 4 career wins by submission to his credit.
Musoke pinning that arm down, that left arm of Sakara's. See where the head is? He wants to trap that arm and go for an arm triangle. And Sakara sneaks it back under. Musoke trying to get his hand going. Head and arm control here. In full side control now. And Musoke, what he's going to try to do, I think, by virtue of the fact that he's trying to pin that head down the arm, is figure out a way to trap that arm up against the head, and Sakara hip escape back in the half guard. Better defensive position for Sakara. Look for Sakara to try to secure the underhook on the same side. Oh, wow, he got crazy there. He just exploded. That was just all athleticism.
We have seen flashes of brilliance from Sakara in the past. Pops in the guard now.
Well, what we're also seeing is a man who was desperate for an opponent and for competition for quite a long time. And a bit frustrated. He hit him with a hard right hand there, John. Good hammer fist from the bottom by Musoke.
And some nice composure from the Swede 3 minutes into his
Oh, hard elbow by Sakara. Look, armbar! He got it! He got it! Beautiful! Beautiful armbar by Musoke! Just snapped it out of nowhere.
His 5th career win by submission, but you can be sure none bigger than that one. Nico Musoke getting it done in the debut. So a slick finish there for the Swede.